And here we go for the start of DD2 at DD2 Masters Heat 3. We have Leroy Poulter on pole ahead of Julian van der Vat, Bradley Liebenberg, Fabian Lance there in fourth. Benjamin Hubbeck and Michael Steven rounds out the top six as we head down towards turn one. A couple of drivers I haven't seen, like the likes of Michael Buchel, is usually quite quick but seems to be struggling. Leroy keeping it very slow on the start. Very, very slow. There's a couple of cars bogging behind him, but he's managed to get a brilliant start. Bradley capitalized there on Julian van der Vat, knowing Leroy's tricks. Leroy obviously taught him that one when he was under Leroy's wing. They head now into the first of the 180s. Leroy already defensive on lap one, keeping Bradley behind him. Fabian Lance running around the outside of Yuri Swart there, ending up in 7th place. They're falling back some more into the clutches of Michael Steven.
Well, you can just see the student and the master duking it out, but unfortunately the master going and having a little bit of a run for his money, goes and teaches all the tricks, and unfortunately no surprises for the student.
Yeah, he knows it all already. Bradley learnt a lot from Leroy. He's won 2 titles already under Leroy's wing, now racing against his mentor as they head down the main straight now into turn one. Van der Vat looking down the inside of Bradley Liebenberg, doesn't quite think it's time yet, holds that for later on in the race. Bradley now looking over the back of Leroy, looking over the back of his shoulder, trying to keep Bradley at bay. Obviously doesn't seem to have the pace to run in the front. Already defensive on lap 2, causing all the carts to run up onto his. Maybe he's trying to push Bradley Liebenberg into the clutches of Julian van der Vat and maybe get a break that way. They head down the back straight now. Leroy straight to the inside, and he's slowing the car down. He's almost stopping it on the apex, but Bradley does the cutback down the inside. Leroy too wise for him and shoves him right back into the group behind him.
Well, in doing so, Julian van der Vat is getting a little bit of bumping and barging at the back as it all slows down, and unfortunately he's the next one to get pushed out the way.
It's allowed Hubbeck, Bradley Liebenberg's teammate, now into 3rd place. The two of them working very well together down the main straight to push each other away from the 2 CRGs behind them. Yuri Swart and Julian van der Vat should really get their act together and help each other along, get onto the back of the 2 Burl Arts in front of them.
Well, it's turning into quite a difficult situation. You can see Fabian Lance also going and duking out, trying to make her way up, and is just having a bit of a rough time in doing so.
Leroy seems to be struggling down this back straight. You can see the gap closes quite quickly between him and Bradley Liebenberg as they head down towards Golf Club. A 3-cart gap, a 6-cart length gap became a 3-cart length gap very quickly for Leroy Poulter there.
You can see Leroy is actually slowing down middle of the corners. You can just watch the gap change quite significantly.
It seems that just on that back straight he just doesn't quite have the legs of the 2 Burl Art carts behind him. They head down the main straight, and there's a perfect example of it. Michael Steven has made the move on Fabian Lance and got past him. Bryn High there just behind them, being chased down hard by Justin Allison. Justin Allison ever consistent, always just racking up the points, and that's how you win championships. Again, Leroy defensive into the second part of the Golf Club of the 180s.
Well, this is going to be one long race, so it favors the endurance.
Again, he's on the inside. And once again, he slows it down on the apex in the corner just to push Bradley back into the clutches of those behind him, unaware that it's actually Bradley's teammate, Benjamin Hubbeck, right behind Bradley. I don't think Benjamin will do anything silly to his stablemate as they head now down into the main straight. Bradley's going to be having a look here as they head into turn 1. There we go, down the inside. Benjamin Hubbeck round the outside to get the cutback, but Leroy too quick to close the door. They head into the first part of the 180s. I'm guaranteeing you Leroy's going to be down the inside here.
I can just see that they're keeping Leroy Poulter
on the brakes here. Benjamin up the inside, onto the back of Leroy. There's contact. Leroy on the back of Bradley Liebenberg. It's a fender trailer situation as they head through the chicane. Leroy still not off the back of Bradley as they head off into the grass.
Oh, keep your foot flat. Eventually you'll get off. But Leroy Poulter just pulling this quite a strange maneuver in kart racing.
Bringing a new definition to overtake. Don't overtake on the inside. Overtake by going over.
Trying to dominate the situation, and that's definitely one way of doing it, but unfortunately losing a lot of ground, and this has allowed Julian van der Vat to go and push up to the lead. Michael Steven having a bit of fun there, but Fabian Lance pushing hard right behind.
As Benjamin Hubbeck goes up the inside of Julian van der Vat there, you can see the damage on the nose cone of Benjamin Hubbeck, who was behind those 2 carts in front, the Leroy and Bradley incident. But he's made the move stick on Julian van der Vat as they head now onto the back straight. So the smiling Benjamin Hubbeck has been gifted a lead in this race, but there's still many laps to go as the rest of the DD2 pack catch up onto the back of them. Jonathan Thomas rounding out the back of that group. He's very excited to be on the front there. He's going to be menacing to get back.
Well, just keeping an eye on our ladies in motorsport. Fabian Lance going and having a lot of fun there. Michael Steven really trying to hold ground, but unfortunately Fabian Lance having a huge amount of fun at the back.
She's done a bit of work on that chassis. It looks a lot more stable than it did in the previous heat. She is definitely quite a bit quicker than Michael Steven at the moment. Looking to get past him as we speak. We head through now the second part of the 180s. Yuri Swart seems to have made a mistake there, allowing Michael Stevens the opportunity to get onto his back bumper down the back straight here.
Julian van der Walt going and really doing everything he can, trying to keep the power on and keep on pushing after quite an interesting start. And now just needs to keep on going consistently. 20 laps in this race, and that's one way of doing it.
It's an unbelievably long race, and I'm sure the guys are going to feel it afterwards. But it's so good to see the different manufacturers duking it out. The CRG down the inside of the Burrell Art cart now. He does a late block pass and shoves Benjamin behind Yuri Swart, giving himself a good gap to get away in the lead.
Well, that's one way to do it. Van Vat doing everything he can, and Benjamin also having a bit of fun following through. And just keeps on pushing. That's how it's meant to be done. Work with each other just to try and get into the positions that's needed.
Justin Allison seems to have found a bit of turn of pace here later into this race. He's right onto the back of Fabian Lance. As I was saying before, the manufacturers in this class, we've got CRGs, we've got Burrell Arts, we've got Pragas, and we've got the OTK Tony Carter, Justin Allison, all fighting for the lead.
Michael Stephen doing everything he can, trying to show what the GTC experience can do, leaving a little bit of a gap, trying to get into the slipstream and carry as much power through the corners. Something's
wrong there on Yuri Swart's kart. He seems to be have a bit of a mechanical failure there, and he doesn't seem to join us back around the 180s. He is definitely out of the race. I just saw a glimpse there of Bradley Liebenberg sitting down in about 9th place, making a comeback in this race. It's a long race, and he could do it.
Well, it's going to turn into quite a thing, but now Michael Stephen thought he got away from Fabian Lance, and guess who's back? Lady of Karting making her return, chasing after Michael Stephen.
Her youngsters here that she's looking after at the National, watching on eagerly. She trains quite a few little young drivers in the sport, and she's got a thriving young junior team that does very well down in Gauteng.
It's one way of doing it, but just take a look. Trying to keep it clean, trying to keep her nose clean. Not as aggressive as the rest of the karts, actually, if you take a look at her driving compared to the rest. Not trying to slide it in as much.
That'll hold her well at the end of the race.
Keeping in 4th position, but now gunning after Michael Stephen, doing everything she can.
They seem to have settled down a bit here at the front as they head through the Bitter Golf Club. A couple of gaps opening as we go through.
Well, Brand Liebenberg going and making a huge turn off pace and keeps on going. They make their way around the circuit. The wind's starting to pick up though, and that might dictate
just
pace.
In the background there is Bradley Liebenberg. I saw him come through the shot. Unbelievable drive from him. He was way down the pack after towing Leroy for a couple of laps. These carts don't really have many tow hitches, so it's difficult to pull other carts along. Maro and Salmi there going through shot. Also normally a fun runner in the Masters class, but having a bit of a difficult weekend this weekend on a very difficult and technical track. Bradley coming on strong. He has caught Justin Allison very quickly as we watch the front guys go through Golf Club. I'm sure we'll see a glimpse of him now. There he is there.
Liebenberg going and making a huge turn of pace, now getting rid of Leroy Poulter and just keeps on trucking along. But still first to the Masters is Michael Stephen, going and having an absolute blast. But it's also take a look.
Benjamin Hubbock having a go at Julian van der Vat. Maybe he knows his teammate's coming. Maybe he wants to slow the pack down. Who knows?
Turning into quite an interesting situation, but Van der Vat's not going to let that go. He's looking to try and get anywhere, whether it's outside or inside.
Benjamin ran deep there on the inside and then was clever about the cutback. Cut it off straight away. Came back onto the inside and didn't allow Van der Vat to cut back on him on the exit of that corner.
Well, Van der Vat has now got a little bit of pressure as he's got Michael Stephen also trying everything he can. Maybe it's going to be the same as Leroy Poulter, one on the inside, one on the outside, and try and make his way around.
This allowed Stephen and Fabian to get onto the back of this, and Justin Allison as well, just staying ahead of Bradley Liebenberg. I think he saw him coming and put the hammer down. Van der Vat back down the inside though. Lance down the inside of Stephen and got past Habit all at the same time. Great move from her. And Praga obviously very good on the brakes because she's just stayed ahead of Michael Stevens.
Going and working out the long game there, but you could see battling it out again. Fabian Lance having a bit of fun with Michael Stephen the whole time.
This has allowed Van der Vat the gap he needed. He's broken that slipstream and he can get away. Get his head down, put some consistent laps together and just get away.
Well, Justin Allison also duking out, but Bradley Liebenberg going and putting the hammer down and making up huge amounts of time and now looking to duke it out once again.
That blue chrome helmet there sitting behind Justin Allison as they head down into turn 1. There's definitely a move on here. He's down the inside and past him before the brake marker even. And now he's head down, chase down his teammate. Move his way up the field. It's been a fantastic drive from him to come back from as far as he did. Justin having a look up the inside there, but just it's too little, too late.
Liebenberg going and showing what can be done, but Benjamin taking a look behind him, knows his teammate's there and just has to keep on pushing hard. Yes, you might be a teammate, but it's still a race. Who's going to get ahead?
Fabian Lance looking hungry there behind Steven. Steven has diced with her the entire weekend, and I'm sure she wants the upper hand on the master driver there.
Van der Walt trying to open up a gap between himself and the rest, and doing so quite well. But just take a look, Fabian Lance doing everything she can, gets into the slipstream, looks on the outside, unfortunately not close enough to do anything just as yet.
There's a move coming here into the first 180s. She has a look, but just a little bit too far away from Stevens as they head through there. They go through the second 180s now. The move is definitely on Shorty. She's definitely quite a bit quicker than Steven in front of her.
But you can also see that Benjamin is also trying to look around her, and in doing so, that's just allowing his teammate to get ever so closer to come and join the battle. He's inviting him to come and have a bit of fun.
Bradley might be able to make a comeback here. There's a second place on. I doubt he'll be able to catch Van der Walt in the closing stages of this race as we watch the sun start to dip down behind the grandstand. Fabian a lot closer on this lap to Michael Stevens, and the move is done down the inside. Benjamin Hubwick trying to follow through, and he gets it done.
And also, you got Liebenberg now looking to also get around Michael Stevens. Michael Stevens doesn't know where to look, inside or outside. He's having carts all over the show.
He's blocked the second 180 there, keeping him just ahead of Bradley through the second part there. That will slow Bradley down, and he's watching his second place finish fall away from him.
He's doing everything he can, but Liebenberg looking on the inside once again.
Strong move there, and unfortunately, Michael runs wide into the dirt. He manages to keep it on the track. Great bit of driving there. Maybe he's the one that should go into rally and not Leroy.
Well, you're going into GTC, that's where you don't want to bump and barge, but Michael Steven unfortunately losing a lot of ground, and that has just allowed Liebenberg to keep on trucking. Liebenberg is making huge headway, especially after becoming a tow vehicle for a Fender trailer of Leroy Poulter.
It's strange I don't see Leroy Poulter coming through. Maybe he had to retire after that event, after that little incident with Bradley.
Well, when you get towed across the circuit, I think that might cause a little bit of an issue. But just take a look. Liebenberg is not holding back. He really wants to try and get that first position back and is pushing hard. Michael Steven just doing everything he can, going very defensive through the corners to try and hold him back.
Our current champion, Bradley Liebenberg, looking menacing there. He doesn't carry the 1. He likes his number 12. And Michael Steven, also the current current champion in the Masters. Both these drivers didn't get the opportunity to go to the World Final last year due to other commitments. But Liebenberg down the inside now of Habik and making the move stick. That's up to third place from way down the field after that incident with Leroy Poulter.
Liebenberg going and showing what he can do. The teammate giving him a little bit of room. But now next up is Fabian Lance, who's in the way of Liebenberg. And as we know, Fabian Lance will hang on to the position with tooth and nail.
I think there's a good points haul here for Bradley. And if he just maintains his pace in a good third place, it'll definitely not hurt his championship. He doesn't want to do anything silly, make any last minute moves to maintain places. Just stay consistent and stay in third place. It's all about the points. Michael Steven obviously got the move done now on Justin Allison. Jonathan Thomas right behind there looking menacing.
Julian van der Walt going and still opening up that lead, keeping on going, just needs to keep a consistent pace straight through to get the win. And that's where it becomes a little bit more difficult. As soon as you can see there's carts sitting around you, especially like Liebenberg, who's been chased down, pushed right to the back of the grid, and now forcing his way all the way back up.
Van der Walt has got such a commanding lead, he almost had to get out of the car to look behind him and see where the rest of the drivers are. But Fabian Lance is pushing hard and trying to close that gap onto him. I don't think there's many laps left to do it though.
Unfortunately, but you can see Lance played the long game, and just when it started getting later and later, she managed to move her way up.
With 1 lap left to go, Van der Walt is definitely just a little bit too far away for Fabian, but Liebenberg may stand a chance to get onto the back of Fabian Lance and get his second place, get some more points, make that championship stick, go for his 3rd South African title.
As you can see, Liebenberg getting closer and closer each time. Fabian Lance starting to feel the heat now, but absolutely amazing racing from Van der Walt, going through quite an ordeal on the start and still managing to maintain that first position, really holding it all the way.
He comes past our commentary box now, just a little bit sideways onto the main straight and takes the win. Fist pump in the air, Lance in 2nd, Liebenberg 3rd.
Absolutely phenomenal racing. Quite a hectic race to say the least, but my heavens, it's one way to do it. and the Lance pit must be going absolutely mad with that second place.
Confirmation of the results then. Julian van der Walt takes the win in DD2, with Michael Stevens taking the DD2 Masters win and the championship lead.
It was a brilliant race, really close racing. We started in second position, came in off turn one in third, and then Leroy and Bradley started tussling. It was like a 5-cart battle that was really awesome. And then I think Bradley and Leroy came together and we just managed to get a gap and pull away. And that was the race.
This heat was the best of the day so far. I think the longer races suit us anyway, so having it as a 20-lapper obviously suited us with our handling and performance in general. And normally the last heat of the day, most people get excited, as I'm sure you've seen, some argy-bargy bumping here and there, and then it's basically just stay clear of that, keep your pace, and then I was trying to get to the leader, but obviously I needed maybe another 10 laps.
I had a good start to the race, managed to stay in second position off the start, and I just went in hunt for Leroy and got past him into turn one after I think it was like 4 or 5 laps, and unfortunately we had a coming together out the second 180 and he ended up on top of my left rear of my kart, and unfortunately we got lodged together, and we both ruined our race, and managed to come back from I think 8th or something to finish on the podium in third. So happy with it, and we move on to the next race.